Masquerade? Like all the world is a stage? And do you ever long to drop the performance, to take off the mask, to shine a little bit brighter, to show your authentic and true self? I've got some thoughts for us today about living authentically, and that is living fully alive and in love. I'm so glad you found your way to Live with Heatherlyn. I'm coming to you today from Ocean Beach, San Diego. Please take a moment to let me know you're here, and where are you today? It seems to me that there are a lot of barriers to living authentically. I don't know. Do you experience that as well? It seems to me that it is a human, natural, fundamental part of our existence that we want to be fully alive. We want to express ourselves. We want to be who we really are. And then there are these roles that can be imposed upon us, or narratives we're asked to participate in. We're even handed a sort of script to fulfill in that role. Sometimes we're handed masks in even sort of enticing ways, like if you put on this mask, then you will actually belong here. But is that genuine belonging when we have to pretend to be someone we aren't or hide a part of ourselves? Here's an example from my life. I grew up in a really rigid, dogmatic, religious subculture. And to seem like we belonged in that, we had to talk a certain way. There were a lot of unspoken and spoken rules, but really if you were a part of this, you needed to talk a certain way and dress a certain way, look a certain way. There were certain beliefs that you had to adhere to. And if you questioned those or doubted those, it was sort of doubtful if you were like okay, if you were really in, if you really were a part of this. And coloring outside the lines was also not okay. So I had an experience as a little Heatherlyn where I was exploring my creativity. Music has always been my number one way to express myself creatively, but I love to dabble in other creative expressions too. And so I had done a pencil drawing that was abstract and kind of geometrical, and it sort of looked like this abstract city. And I was thinking about the kind of place I want to be in, and I added peace symbols. Peace symbols because, a peaceful city, a peaceful community. And I was pulled aside by one of the teachers that I really loved and admired and respected, and she told me, to my great dismay, that these peace symbols were actually demonic symbols. And I was devastated. Luckily, I didn't have to throw away the whole thing because I'd done it in pencil, so I just erased out the peace symbols, but I sort of scrubbed them in a way that I felt like mortified. I felt ashamed that I had included that, like maybe I had been misled by demonic spirits. It was very, very heavy and very fearful, especially for a child who was simply seeking to be expressive and playful and creative. And I had even in that moment felt like I was discovering a new thing that I could do, and it felt so natural and so joyful. And so this is what masks can do, or these imposed narratives can do. Not only tell us to cover up parts of ourselves, but even sort of smother a flame inside of ourselves. And so maybe for a while it serves us to protect those things about ourselves, to not fully share them, especially in places where we can tell we're not safe to. That's important to be discerning about who can actually hold space for who we really are, who can actually hear our honesty. And so it's important for us to find those safe places, because I believe that those parts of ourselves never go away. They might sort of die or wither, but there seems to always be an ember of that flame that's still there just below the surface, calling to us, nudging us, whispering to us. Sometimes that grows and it gets to be this loud knocking of like we just want to get free and share that part of who we are, And I believe that shining our lights is important, that shining our lights truly and fully and authentically showing the uniqueness of who we are is something that's needful and important to others around us. It's a gift to share with others your unique expression of the universe, of the cosmos. I believe Rumi put it something like, you are the entire universe in ecstatic motion. He did say, you are not just a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in one drop. And so you are this unique expression of this thing that we're all a part of. And no one expresses it exactly like you do. And when you are yourself, when you share your truth honestly and unashamedly, unabashedly, you're showing to the rest of us another aspect of what it means to be human, to be alive, that the experience is so much more vast and multifaceted than what one individual can experience on our own. And so here are some ways that I have sought to learn who I really am. Growing up in that rigid, dogmatic, sort of oppressive environment that had a lot of fear and a lot of shame, that was sort of imposed upon me before I even got to really know who I am. And so I had to peel back some layers that were put on me. I had to deconstruct some narratives. I had to notice in my body how different things feel to me. And so simply asking yourself, this is a somatic practice, when I say yes to something, how does that feel in my body? When I say no to something, how does that feel in my body? And you want your yes to increasingly feel more grounded, aligned, confident. And when you feel shaky, there could be different kinds of shakes. Sometimes we need to practice courage that causes us to shake a little bit through our bravery, facing that fear. It does take courage to step out and be our true self. Sometimes if we're not sure we'll be safe. But sometimes there's an unsettledness that's just says to us, this just isn't right. This isn't who I really am. And I think the more that we practice this, the more we actually build strength of character. The more we are actually living in alignment with our integrity. When our inner and our outer lives align, I was told previously in my upbringing that integrity was basically adhering to an external moral standard. As long as you did all of these things that the group said was okay, and you didn't do these things that the group says are not okay, then you're living in integrity. But now I believe that integrity is more about honesty, because how much truth is in honesty? My honest experience of how I am encountering others, how I'm interfacing with other people's stories, and then I can bring that back into inner reflection, and I can say, what does that mean for me? And then when we are in healthy communities of non-judgment, of compassion, of curiosity, when we are with others who truly embrace, accept, and love us for who we are, they can reflect back to us with honesty, with grace, and we can all grow in that wisdom together. It is such a beautiful thing to live authentically, because that means you're living fully alive, where you are living with awareness of why you're here and what you have to offer to others during your time here, which is only for the twinkle of an eye, as some say. So I wrote my song, Welcome to the Masquerade, because I was noticing the ways our society, various cultures, do sort of enticingly, welcome us into this masquerade. And it's a little bit ominous, and it's a little bit icky at times, actually, because you're forced to pretend to be someone you're not, to feign belonging. And Brene Brown says that true belonging means that you are showing up authentically. In fact, the more authentically we can show up, the more deeply and truly we can belong to one another. And I love that. So I hope that today might encourage you and inspire you. I do believe that authenticity is about that integrity and strength of character. And so I wish you strength. I wish you courage to maybe even bit by bit, little by little, find ways and times when you can practice taking off those masks and showing who you are. Being vulnerable is something that requires bravery. So I wish you courage. And I wish you freedom to dance in this life, freedom to be yourself. And I wish you great love for yourself and for one another to share this gift of you. Let's take a moment to breathe before we listen to the song. If it feels good, place one hand on your heart and then the other hand over your hand. And let your gaze soften before you or go inward, maybe even closing your eyes. And I invite you to sit up tall and take a deep breath in through the nostrils, all the way down to your seat and to your toes. And just say to yourself, I am enough as I am. I am safe to be me. I am free to be me. I am loved just as I am. Painted lips of glossy red. Never mind the things she said. Glittering eyes sparkle in the night. Give our soul enchanted sight. Welcome to the masquerade. All of life is a fanciful stage. Hide behind your painted porcelain face. Welcome, welcome to the masquerade. Feathers colored silver and gold, eyes wide shut, the phantom of the show. Masks as glammed as money can afford. So he and she and you won't get bored. Welcome to the masquerade. All of life is a fanciful stage. Hide behind your painted porcelain face. Welcome, welcome to the masquerade. Ooh, fall in line, step to the dance, hypnotized a vicarious romance. You can be anyone, a pirate or a prude. You can be anyone, anyone but you. Welcome to the masquerade. All of life is a fanciful stage. Hide behind your painted porcelain face. Welcome, welcome, welcome. so good to be with you today. Thank you for your presence here. If you found this of benefit and of value, you know where that like button is. Please subscribe to this channel. And I would love to see you back here for the next premiere and for our monthly live Soul Song Saturday show. It's the first Saturday of every month, a full hour show. I would love to see you in the live chat and say hello to you. And this production, all of these productions, are made possible by the Heatherlyn Music Patreon community. If you'd like to be a part of keeping this going, check that out and even sign up for free simply for reliable updates. I'm so grateful for your presence here. Thank you. See you again soon. Take care of yourself and one another. Much love.